holy S word, guys. They are here. The Wyatt Six have debuted in WWE in a grand fashion, in one of the coolest debuts I've seen in quite some time. Reminiscent to the return of Bray Wyatt back in 2022. This was really, really cool over the last couple of weeks. What seems like almost since around WrestleMania time, a couple of months really, there's been QR codes that have been flashing in different spots of the shows. And that lately, over the past couple of weeks, they've been getting more prominent. And we got the countdown thing a couple of days ago, and now we are here. As Uncle Howdy said as he signed off of Monday Night Raw. And my God, what a debut presentation for the Wyatt Six. I'm Johnny T from the Springboard Plancha Podcast, and let's get into just the reaction of the debut and what I thought about it. I mean, what a presentation. That was one of the things that I was interested in seeing when they were going to do this faction, when they kind of started planting the seeds for it during the Bray Wyatt documentary that came out I believe the day before WrestleMania. I could be wrong about that. It's been a long time since it's been out, but it was around that time that the Bray Wyatt documentary came out. Really, really fantastic piece of film. Go back on. And one of my other videos, I give a thorough review of the documentary. But ever since that time, it was being teased that the Uncle Howdy character was going to be making a return. You get the little spoiler at the end, or you get the little, not spoiler, but you get the little after credit scene per se of Uncle Howdy showing up, taking the or no, actually it wasn't then. The only thing you see is the lantern lighting back up. And so then at the premiere during WrestleMania weekend of the documentary, the live crowd got to see a after credit scene of Uncle Howdy picking up the lamp. So anyways, it all leads to this now. And the rumors had been swirling that the group that this wasn't just going to be an Uncle Howdy return. This was going to be the formation of the group that was originally intentioned before Bray Wyatt unfortunately passed away, which was going to be the Wyatt Six. It's always rumored of the 6 different personalities of Bray Wyatt or whatever. Somehow, some way, we were going to get to having a combination of a 6-group faction, and now that's been put on hold, and now we're here. So as it seems, so all 5 members of this faction debuted or returned last night. And the way that they did it right at the end. If you watched Monday Night Raw, right at the end after the Jey Uso win, you have the fade to like the lights go out, reminiscent of Bray Wyatt's 2022 return. And then first thing you see is that door again from back at Extreme Rules 2022. The door opens and it's actually a woman and not a man, which was kind of interesting. And you see her crawling on the ground, and it's just the creepiest looking thing with the creepy one of those creepy masks and whatnot. And that is believed to be Nikki Cross, playing the character of Abby the Witch. And she then points to the cameraman to go to the backstage, and this is like nothing I've ever seen in WWE programming before. The gorilla position, which has started to be a little bit more prominent over the past couple of months or years since Triple H has taken over, a gorilla position that we actually just saw maybe a couple of hours before this happened, when Drew McIntyre was walking out and whatnot. And so you see the before that during that point, then you see the after at this point, and there's bodies all over the place. There's blood all over the place. You get who clearly is Eric Rowan playing the character of Rambling Rabbit, and he's got he's got the rabbit mask on, the huge beard, and he's got the hammer, uh, paying homage to the Bludgeon Brothers. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. So that was really neat to see. Just the cinematography, the lights flashing, every lights flickering, bodies all over the place. There's blood splatter, which is like holy hell. And then of course you get to the hallway scene. You do see what appears to be Joe Gacy sitting on the top, who is playing Huskus the pig, and then you also see Dexter Loomis on the other side, who is portraying Mercy the Buzzard. So the last thing you see is you get to that little hallway there, and there is Chad Gable, who has a huge, what looks like a gash right here on the side of his head, and he's like bleeding from it like that, and he's knocked out on the ground. And I don't know if it looks like he got shot in the head, or if it looks like he got hit with a hammer or something. He got hit with something, but either way, he's knocked out and presumably dead. I don't know. And so it's insane. And then you see Uncle Howdy come out, and just perfect cinematography, perfect see. And I mean, my jaw was dropped throughout this whole entire thing. I was just like, I was so intrigued and amazed by this. This is the entertainment part of wrestling. If you don't like this kind of stuff, which some people don't, you probably didn't enjoy it. But for me, I was like, whoo, man, this is something else. This is so cool, so eerie, and it was so creepy. And there was no screaming, there was no anything. It was just whatever was going on in the back, right? And then Uncle Howdy starts walking towards the entrance, starts bringing along all of his followers with him, and it ends with them, all 5 characters on the stage area, with Uncle Howdy picking up the lantern and saying, "We're here, lights out, show's over." What an amazing scene, an amazing presentation to bring this group out, paying massive homage to Bray Wyatt and his visions. And the characters look great, the costumes look great, and they presumably murdered or murked, whatever you want, whatever verbiage you want to use, and attacked a number of superstars and potentially management in that whole scene there. It's hard to tell some of the people, but based on still shots and stuff that you can see on X, you do see, obviously, Chad Gable's the one that's made prominent on the camera. Braun Strowman is towards the right in the gorilla position area. There's Braun Strowman laying on the ground. Evidently, people did see Gunther, potential, maybe even Carmelo Hayes, even Triple H was supposedly seen in that rubble, but it's hard to really tell exactly who, the whole list of people that were attacked back there. But it was an amazing and crazy way to end the show. And I think if that's how you were going to debut that group, that was the way to do it, because now I'm intrigued. Now you have my attention. And I don't think that bringing in that group to like do an in-ring interference kind of thing would have been fine, but clearly what we're seeing here is, I think, what the direction of what this group is gonna be, is gonna be more like suspense and realistic based, more than supernatural kind of thing. I think that's why you got the realism of the backstage attack and the blood everywhere and all of that, because I think they're going to go towards more of a these are sick people that are going to do sick things to everyone in the WWE, or just on Raw. I'm not sure they're going to be specifically show based or if they're going to cross over. They might even show up on SmackDown for all we know, right? I mean, if I was any of the SmackDown superstars, I'd carry a gun with me. That's a joke, but but based on what this group did, I don't know. I think you might need to. But what a presentation for this group, and I look forward to seeing what they're gonna do with it. Right away, the right immediate reaction is that was cool. That was great. Like that was perfect. What a way to what a way to debut a new faction. What a way to make a statement by taking out not only superstars but management and whatnot, the higher ups, the people in charge. Like wow, what a way to do it. And the 5 people that are involved in this are all people that have kind of been lost in the shuffle more or less over the past couple of years, but they all have ties to some kind of I want to say some kind of psychosomatic piece of their characters. At one point or another, they've all experienced that, right? Obviously, Bo Dallas with Uncle Howdy's character and whatnot. Nikki Cross has always been like she's always played a kind of psychotic character in her past, in her past characters, the different iterations of Nikki Cross. Joe Gacy obviously was a cult leader on NXT, so there you go there. Dexter Lumis, another guy that's kind of like a little bit of a psycho, a little bit of a crazy, like doesn't say anything. And when he was stalking the Miz and all that fun stuff. It's like, yeah, it's like everybody has a connection like that. And then of course Eric Rowan, who makes his triumphant return to WWE, of course was part of the original Wyatt family and then the Bludgeon Brothers and whatnot. So everybody has that kind of like weird mental connection. So I think that's why this group of characters work that way. I don't think it would work right if you just put in, like characters that didn't play those type of mental issue characters in the past. I think that's what makes this group intriguing, because now they're all just a band of sickos. I know I say that pun intended, because their official group name is actually the Wyatt Six, not just Wyatt number 6, but they're Wyatt, like you spell sick, SICK, and then 6 at the end of it. The Wyatt 6, like that's a brilliant play on words, and whoever came up with that's a really, really good way to get it across that these are a group of troubled mental instability people that have banded together to create this group that's just going to cause all kinds of mayhem and not care, because they've been forgotten by everyone in the system and whatnot. So night 1, really, really cool. So where do we go? Where do I think that we should go from here? That's the tough part, because at some point or another, I guess they're going to have to wrestle, right? So who is the best wrestler of that group? That's the part where I think these characters or these superstars have lacked. Bo Dallas has always been a good hand, but I haven't seen him wrestle in like a true match in such a long time. Even when he had that tag match with Bray Wyatt, the last match he had back in February of 2022, or was it 23? 23, excuse me, back of February of 23. That was the last match that he had with Bray. That was Bray's last match. And that's the last time I saw Bo Dallas. We saw Bo Dallas do any in-ring action, and it wasn't very much. It was more of character work on that one. So I don't know what Bo Dallas looks like at this point in the ring. We've gotten snippets of what people like Dexter Lumis look like. We know what Eric Rowan. Another one is Eric Rowan that we haven't seen in quite some time. Nikki Cross, we have seen that she's been a good hand, but even when she was the women's champion, it was a very, very lackluster run, and there wasn't really a lot of memorable wrestling matches that she's had. So none of these guys have ever had like a 4 or 5 star match or anything like that. So it makes you wonder, when they put them in the ring, what are we gonna get, or what's the goal when we start putting these characters in the ring? Because at some point they're gonna have to, right? My thing is that I think this is a perfect opportunity to bring something back that we haven't seen in quite some time in WWE, and that's cinematic matches. I know that in this new era, they haven't really done very many of those. But I think with this group, I think it's a perfect opportunity to start bringing back cinematic matches so that way you can add a little bit of movie magic to these matches to make it to kind of maybe circumvent the lack of in-ring expertise that these guys might have. That's not the crap on them or anything like that as wrestlers, because they're all wrestlers. They've all been through it. But like I said, none of these people in this group have had a 4 or 5 star match in their careers or anything like that. Like, they're good hands. They're great hands. Some of them have been jobbers. Let's just face it. But none of them have been world champion before, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think either one of these characters, like either one of these superstars, with the exception of Nikki Cross, obviously she's been a world champion, but none of the men, from what I can think, I'd have to go back and look, because Bo Dallas is the one that I'm kind of like, I don't think he ever won the Intercontinental Championship. He may have won the United States, but I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look at that. But I don't know if Eric Rowan had a small stint with the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think he did. I know Luke Harper did. I don't think Eric Rowan ever won a singles title. Joe Gacy definitely never won a singles title in NXT. Dexter Lumis has not won a singles title in WWE. So it makes me wonder, who's gonna be like the star? I guess Bo Dallas, right, the leader. But that's why I'm thinking, like, I think that this team will be best suited for character work and potentially a lot more cinematic match styles versus having a lot of just straight up wrestling matches with this group. I don't think that's where this story, where these characters are going to be able to excel. I think it's more in the cinematic type. I mean, that's just my thoughts. I think if you overexpose this group for not being good wrestlers, I think you potentially set yourself up for a little bit of failure here. But hopefully not, because I really, 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 really enjoyed the debut of the group, and I enjoy the look of them. The costumes are great. The really scary, eerie thing, and the fact that it looks like their goal is to cause mayhem in the back, in WWE. So this is just really, really cool. There's a lot of potential here that I think that this group can have in the future. Like I said, I think more cinematic stuff is the way to go here. But after night 1 of this group, I am intrigued. That was super exciting. I can't say, I mean, it's been a while. I'd have to go back and look, but I can't remember anything like that. Like, yes, we've had the Bray Wyatt debuts and returns and stuff like that, but I don't remember having going through a scene like that where you go to the back and everyone is just demolished, potentially murdered in the back, and it just looks like a massacre just happened. Like, maybe they should call the cops. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing cheering? But but one of those things, like out of a movie kind of thing, was just very, very impressively shot and done, and it really made, after one night, it made this group important. And that's, I think, the big thing for this group, is to make sure that they came out looking important, and they weren't just looked at as, well, there's Bo Dallas. We gave him his his stuff to be able to commemorate his brother and whatnot, and now we can kind of move on. Like, no, they made these guys important by having them do what they did and who they did it to. And I thought that was key, was to make sure that they made an impact on the show, that they made an impact, so that way it can be sustained in however they decide to do it. But I'm intrigued. I'm very, very excited for the Wyatt Six, and I hope they go on to do really, really great things. I think we do have to maybe subvert our expectations of the group as well. I don't necessarily think that they're going to be winning world championships or anything like that. I don't even think that's the goal with this. I know that a lot of the times when it comes to these things, you're always looking at, well, are they going to be able to win a world title or something? Like, I don't think that's the way we need to look at this group. I think we need to look at this group as more of a, what kind of stuff they can do from a character standpoint. What kind of, and this is probably not going to be like with the Judgment Day and excuse me, with the Judgment Day and the Bloodline and all, and those factions. Those factions were built for longevity through through a massive amount of time to be able to have stories for years, and that's what those two groups have done. I don't think that the Wyatt Six has been built for longevity, for a long story. I don't think that the goal with the Wyatt Six is to have them around 2 years from now. I think the goal with the Wyatt Six is to have this group that kind of shakes things up for the next 6 to 12 months, and then something just completely like stops it, right? It comes to an end. I don't think this group was built for something like a Judgment Day or Bloodline. But however, if it works out and people love it and it's very, very popular and it's working, then maybe they do decide just to keep going. But the thing is that a group like this, I feel like you might dig it into the ground if you keep stretching it out and stretching it out. So I'll be interested to see what they decide to do with this group and how long they stick around and how long they're going to be, a menace to the WWE. I feel like this is one of those things where you make it feel important, you make it feel special every time they're on the screen and every time they're doing something, and then eventually it comes to an end. And then that's it. It's over, and you remember that time for being just so good. I don't think we need another Bloodline or another Judgment Day group that just kind of sticks around forever. But we'll see how it goes. But after night one, my reaction is just amazing. Great presentation. I'm super, super intrigued. They hooked, line, and sinkered me. So now I'm going to have to tune in on Friday to see if they show up on Friday. If not, I'll be tuning in on Monday to see if they show up. And right now is like the perfect time for them to debut as well, because WWE, I felt, has although it's been a good product, it's been in a little bit of a holding pattern since the end of WrestleMania. Everything's just kind of been like, they've kind of been coasting, as I think they're trying to get to Money in the Bank and then eventually to SummerSlam. But everything's kind of been on coast mode for the last couple of months here. So having something like this that makes an impact like it did it brings the viewers back onto the screen to see what is going to happen, what this team is going to do. So I'm intrigued. I'm ready to see what they do. And we'll see where the Wyatt Six goes from here. And if I am Chad Gable, I hope you're okay. But if you are, I'd stay away from this group, my friend, because good Lord, it looks like they killed you. But man, guys, I'm super excited. I really like this, what they did with this group on Monday night. But I want to hear what y'all think of the group. Did y'all like the way that they present that the Wyatt Six debuted? Y'all let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll be tracking the group as they continue to go. We'll be coming out with more videos on the group. I'll probably be doing another video here pretty soon about the individual people that are playing the characters in the Wyatt Six and why and what you need to know about each and every single one of them. But until then, guys, I am Johnny T, and I will see you guys next time.